Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I'm Rob and I talk about high-end collectible comics and comic art. Subscribe if that's your kind of thing. I love to talk about comics and I post 1 or 2 videos a week doing just that. This week, I'm going to talk about the ongoing ComicLink Featured Auction. This auction started May 16th, 2025 and will be closing within the week. This auction is incredibly fun. I went into this preview thinking I'd do 10 to 15 lots and then move quickly on to the Comic Connect auction, which opened yesterday as I record this. Then I looked at this auction and I figured I got to do a little bit more. So buckle up, it's going to be fun. Submariner Comics number 1, CGC 9.2, one of the top 3 graded overall, as they say. I talked about this a lot in a short. I'm really excited to see where this book ends up. It's a really nice looking copy, off-white pages, and it's the best copy of this book ever put up for sale in a CGC holder. The 9.0 Larson copy is the best in GPA, so just get out the popcorn. I really have no idea where this is going to end up because there's not a lot of comparables for this book, but sometimes I don't even want to predict. I just want to see where it goes. And it's a really nice looking copy of a very cool book. Amazing Spider-Man number 2, CGC 9.4. The last 9.4 copy of this book, in GPA at least, is from 2017. The Twin Cities copy, a 9.6, sold for $168,000 in September of 2021. So there's going to be pretty heavy competition for this book. It'll be interesting to see where it ends up. Journey into Mystery 85, CGC 9.6, highest graded, 1 of 4. First Loki, so that's pretty important. 1 of 4 highest graded with white pages. A 9.4 sold for $84,000 last year. This copy is in GPA. It sold for $35,000 in 2014. So if that buyer is the consigner, they're going to make a mint on this one. Such a cool book. Strange Tales number 110, CGC 9.6, highest graded, 1 of 7. How are there 7 copies of this book in 9.6? Isn't that kind of crazy? Like, think about it. It's a mid-run Marvel from 1963. There wasn't really anything super going on in Strange Tales at this point, but somehow there were 7 9.6s. The last copy of this book in 9.6 sold for $150,000 last year, and this copy last sold in GPA in 2014 for $61,506. Again, if this consigner is the same buyer from 2014, they're going to make a mint on this book. Showcase number 2, CGC 8.0. I love this book in general. I love Silver Age, Green Lantern, Hal Jordan, Guy Gardner, whole deal. Super fun stuff. And speaking of Guy Gardner, we definitely saw some Guy Gardner hype recently with that Green Lantern 59. So will this HBO series coming up generate some Hal Jordan hype? I don't know. A 7.5 sold for $31,800 in August of 23. So, the series hype cycle crazy Green Lantern HBO thing demands this get like 50,000 or something like that. Anything less is like not hype train. Get on the hype train. I don't know. The last 8.0 in GPA is from 2013, so that alone should drive the price up on this book. Anyway, I love this copy. It's a really nice book. Hype or no hype, you gotta love Showcase 22. And Showcase in general, as you know. Amazing Spider-Man number 13, CGC 9.6. There's some really nice books in this auction. First, Mysterio. He's such a weird character, Mysterio, but like he's really cool in his own kind of weird way. And he has staying power. It's crazy. It's like if Paste Pot Pete was the main villain in the new Fantastic Four movie. Although with the way Marvel was going for a while, I actually just had to check to make sure that like the Trapster didn't have a Netflix miniseries while I wasn't looking. Anyway, this is a really nice book. White pages, First Mysterio, fun times. Okay, Fantastic Four number 5, CGC 8.5, Circle 8 pedigree, and Fantastic Four number 5, CGC 8.0, Twin Cities pedigree. So 2 pedigree copies, Twin Cities and Circle 8, of Fantastic Four number 5, both in the VF range, in the same auction. Is that weird? I think that's weird. I'd be bummed if I was one of these consigners. These books are 100% competing with each other. I mean, like, there's no question. There is nobody that's like, well, I mean, I shouldn't say there's nobody. There's probably somebody out there that's like, well, my minimum is 8.5 for this book. And somebody who's like, my maximum is 8.0. But realistically, that person doesn't exist. It's really like 9.0 or better. I would think. So these books are competing against each other. I love this book though, so I hope both books do well for their consigners, and the power of Doctor Doom continues to shine on into 2025 and beyond. I'm a nerd for Doctor Doom. This copy sold for $42,006, September 14th, 2023, the Circle 8 copy. Prior to that, it sold for $14,340, May 10th of 2012. So that 40,000 is where it needs to be. The Twin Cities copy also sold before. So at Heritage, May 5th, 2011, it sold for $8,365. We'll see where they land. Hopefully they both do well, like I said. Okay, Incredible Hulk number 131 cover, Herb Trimpe. This is the only piece of art I'm sharing in this entire preview, which is abnormal for me, but you'll see why. I mean, you should have seen why already. The books are fast and furious and really cool, and it's going to get crazy after this. So, but, I've been on this Trimpe kick. Obviously, he's had some really good results recently. Obviously, he's really good, and like people are starting to notice, I guess. I don't know. These Hulk covers are really good. Like if you go back and look at the run of the Hulk covers, there are a lot of like really dynamic and fun covers. So, yeah, doing this channel has made my appreciation for Herb Trimpe go through the roof. So why not share? And there it is. Great image, dramatic. By the way, Hulk is gonna get up and smash. I'm positive. They think he's down for the count, but he's never down for the count. Spoilers. Actually, I don't know. I've never read this book, but that's the way the Hulk works normally. He gets knocked down, then he gets mad, and he smashes. Okay, I'm kind of trolling with this one. Incredible Hulk number 181, CGC. Nope. Psych. PGX 9.9 mint. Does anybody want to crossover grade this, buy it, and send it into Sarasota and see what it comes back as? I don't. I definitely don't. It's signed by Len Wein and Herb Trimpe, so it's got that going for it. And so I don't know if you can see it. These whole, I don't know anything. I've had a couple of like literally like 2 PGX books, and that's in 25 years or however long they've been around. But I've had 2, and I've never like cracked them open. I have sent books in, sent CGC PGX books and said grade this. And they came back the same, but it was like it wasn't a new book. So, but this one, there is definitely that corner with the arrow. There's no arrow in the book. That corner is definitely not square. And it looks to me, and this just scan is not high res enough. It looks to me like it is one of those kind of like slammed around in the holder things. And I don't know enough about the PGX holders to know if they could have moved around. Otherwise, it actually looks like a very solid copy of Hulk 181. Not that I'm telling you to pay CGC 9.9 money for this book, but it is, a pretty nice looking book, aside from this bump. And I'd love to look at it in hand to see if there's anything else that I'm missing, because it is a curious case that PGX comes back and says it's a 9.9. And I don't know. I don't see many of them. So Batman number 2, CGC 9.2, highest graded, 1 of 2. This book sold for $39,000 in 2007. Again, if this book has been in the same collection since, the consigner is going to do super well with this sale. The other 9.2 last sold in 2010 for $43,000. So there's likely some pent-up demand for a copy this nice. Okay. Now it's time for an absolute parade of 9.8s. There are so many 9.8s. I didn't even choose all the 9.8s because there were so many. It's like if I could find something interesting to say or the books were just perfect, I would bring them in. But otherwise, I left some 9.8s on the cutting room floor. Keys, just not even just random books. So good. Let's get started. Amazing Spider-Man number 129, CGC 98. So as it's been a trend so far in this video that I've had like great news for the consigners. It's like, you bought this for $10,000, it's going to sell for 50. This one might be a stretch, unfortunately. So 3 copies of this book have sold so far in 2025. April, a copy sold for $15,000. February, a copy sold for $16,200. January, a copy sold for $19,800. This book was bought at Heritage in 2023 for $30,000. Could it get that money back? Yeah, of course. This is one of those volatile books. It's been volatile for a long time, but it's double the last price, so not a guarantee. I'm pulling for the consigner. I'm pulling for every consigner in this auction because some of them are going to do really well. Amazing Spider-Man number 39, CGC 98. I cannot imagine that any other copy of this book in 9.8 is as perfect as this one. If you're looking through a collection, like if I was looking through a collection of raw books, secondhand, not like an original owner, original owner, you would get the sense from the beginning, like, oh my God, these books are amazing. But this is just like in a random collection in Mylar, and you're flipping through, and like, the 38 is like a nice book, but it's got like a spine tick or whatever. And then you look at this 39, I would literally be confused. Let me show you. I would be confused if this book was in a Mylar in front of me. I'd be like, this is not real. I would assume it was trimmed. I don't know what I would assume. Everything about it. It's like incredible quality of production. The colors are stunning. It'll cut you. It's like the corners are so square. It's just white pages. There's nothing. Like, there's nothing. Why is this not a mint book? I have no idea. So, it's a great book. And it's a great book, right? It's a Green Goblin. Ugh, love it. Giant Size X-Men number 1, CGC 9.8. It's obviously big book by itself. I don't think I've shared a copy of this book at all on the channel, which seems weird. And I hadn't previously realized that there was a 9.9 of this book, which seems ridiculous. Both that I hadn't noticed it and that there's a 9.9 of this book. Because, like, if you've handled this book or seen a lot of copies of it, it just doesn't even seem physically possible to have a square-bound, giant-sized book from 1975 come back in 9.9. I'd love to see that book in person because it has to have, like, won the lottery in terms of quality of production and then just won the lottery in terms of just, like, not getting any damage at all. It's crazy. So here it is. That sold for $170,000 June 28th, 2024. So, and it's got the gold numbers. It looks nice, but that's in the scan. I want to see it in person. Just saying. Incredible Hulk 181, CGC 9.8. 2 copies. So there were 2 sales in GPA for Incredible Hulk number 181, 98. So 2 copies of this book, including this exact copy, sold for $72,000 last year. What will this one do this time around? Hopefully for the consigner, it will break the 72,000 trend. And here it was. It was literally the last sale of Hulk 181 in 9.8 was this exact book. So we'll see how it goes. This happens more often than you would think. I'm always in GPA, like, tracing comics, and often I'll just see flips, which is fine. I do not say flip pejoratively. I've done it, all the time, whatever. But I've seen books that, like, move within a year or 5 months or whatever, because you can see the serial number back to back. Sometimes it works, but even if I'm looking at another book, you can, I'm scanning through looking for a serial number for a book that's selling in an auction. I'll see these things happen. I'm like, and I've shared a couple. Like, they're just, wow, that was a crazy result. Yeah, I'll share more as I see them because some of them are great. It's like somebody bought it for $10,000 and then, like, 3 months later unlocked all the value. Okay, this one is bonkers. This is a crazy book. So, 1967, Strange Adventures 205. Now, this is one of those things. Strange Adventures 205, just as an aside, Strange Adventures 205 seems so late for DC. It seems like so late. It's like, oh my God, that's like DC's Silver Age is done. Everything's been done. And it's before like all the 1968 number ones. Like it's before Captain America 100 and Iron Man number one and whatever. Those books I am going to talk about later. And so it's like this is actually like not that late. It's just so weird. Like the time scales are shifted with the DCs. So anyway, that aside, Strange Adventures 205 CGC 9.8, one of one, single highest graded, Northland pedigree. This is someone's grail. I guarantee you this is someone's grail. First dead man from the Northland pedigree. Yeah, it doesn't get any better than this. What's it going to end up at? I don't know. This book does not sell above 9.0. It really doesn't. So look at these sales results. The Northland copy sold in 2008 as a 9.6 for $4,090. The last 9.4 sold in 2019 for $3,060. The Pacific Coast copy sold in 2004 for $1,250. That's a great buy. The Savannah sold for $1,135. That's a 9.4 as well in 2011. The last 9.2 sold for $33,050 in 2020. And whoever bought the Western Pen copy, it's a 9.2, also made a great buy because that was $450. So the last sale, as you can see, above 9, $3,000 for a 9.0 in March of 2024. So all of those results above there are cheap as chips compared to that as a baseline for a recent sale. So who knows what this one is going to go for. I'm really excited to see where it lands. X-Men 19, CGC 9.8. There are no 9.8 sales for this book in GPA. It's one of 5 highest graded, which seems weird that none of them have ever come up for sale. One of the things that does happen is a lot of Silver Age collectors, with the exception of Berlato, but a lot of like high-end Silver Age collectors are in the CGC registry, so they will get books graded that they've had raw, so they never actually have to go up for sale. But that's not universal, so I don't know where some of these books are. But this one is up for sale, so it's going to be interesting. And Circle 8, by the way, which is a pedigree I don't talk about very much and isn't covered in the Silver Age pedigrees list because there aren't that many keys, it makes another appearance. So you go, Circle 8. X-Men 94, CGC 9.8. Just context, there are 50 9.8s of this book. So I'm actually surprised we haven't gotten a 9.9. We got the Giant Size X-Men number 1 9.9. We didn't get this. This is just a pamphlet. As an aside, this is the trend today is happy consigners. This is another book where the consigner is going to be happy. This is a $40,000 to $50,000 book these days, and this copy last sold, according to GPA, for $26,500 in April of 2010. So it's not gangbusters results, but it is. You've owned this book for 15 years, and you're not gonna, you're gonna double your money. So you get the joy of owning X-Men 94, and yeah, make some money on the way out the door. Okay, so I didn't include, there's a Silver Surfer number 4 in here, which is a great looking copy. But the story that I wanted to tell is that Silver Surfer number 3, CGC 9.8, there are 27 9.8s of Silver Surfer number 4, and there are just 8 Silver Surfer number 3 in 9.8. Now I know the Overstreet notation drove interest in Silver Surfer number 4, and of course it's Thor. That cover's incredible. But still. And first, Mephisto, by the way, is actually of interest to me as a Daredevil collector, which is maybe not obvious. There was this incredible, if slightly crazy run by Ann Nocenti, John Romita Jr., and Al Williamson, where Daredevil's main antagonist was Mephisto, which is like, I mean, it's the devil and the devil. Yeah, it makes sense, but it's also, Mephisto. He like fights the Silver Surfer, and suddenly he's fighting Daredevil. I don't know. They were really good, and it was believable. I mean, he just tortured Daredevil, but it was great. It was good stuff. Tales of Suspense 42, CGC 9.8. There are no sales in GPA above 9.6. The last generic, like non-pedigree 9.6 was in 2016 for $10,755, and the Pacific Coast copy sold for around $12,000 in 2017. Who knows what this one will go for? There's going to be some pent-up demand for this early Iron Man. Iron Man and Submariner #1, CGC 9.8. There was a CGC forum member who was easily the world's biggest fan of this book. I can't remember his handle, and the search there is terrible now, so I can't find it. But he would post. He would post like these group shots of just the copies of this book that he owned, and he loved it, and he constantly promoted it. You know, because it predates Iron Man #1 and Submariner #1, and it's kind of interesting, and it's a weird book, but it's a cool book. I mean, I wasn't like down on the guy for promoting it. It's really actually an interesting copy. But he was really into it, and I feel like he had the beginnings of like a CGC grade type set of the book. Like he had a 9.8, a 9.6, a 9.4, a 9.2. He had multiples of it, all CGC graded. I would love to find the photo of that. But I could actually, I mean, let's be fair, I could be misremembering how many he had, but I know he had multiples, and I feel like he had like one of every grade practically. What's interesting is that this book is one of the tougher 1968 Marvels. I told you I was going to talk about them later. With this book, there's a 199 and 13 9/8. Compare that to a few other books from that year. Iron Man #1 with 3 9/9s and 39 9/8. Submariner #1 has 89 9/8. Doctor Strange 169 has 43 9.8s, which that surprises me. Hulk 102 has 27 9/8s, which makes a little bit more sense to me. And Captain America 100 doesn't surprise me at all. 2 9/9s and 48 9/8s. So, what does surprise me is the toughest one, or one of the toughest ones, is Silver Surfer #1 has only 10 9.8s, which seems impossibly low to me. Because, you know, as we just saw, Silver Surfer #4 has, you know, dozens of 9/8s. Tales of Suspense 48, CGC 9.8, highest grade of 104. I was actually hoping we could see all of them, since there's this listing and then there are 3 results in GPA. But unfortunately, this is one of the 3 already in GPA. First, red and yellow Iron Man costume, which is like more significant than it seems like it should be, but that's what we think of as Iron Man, at least up until the kind of modern era where everyone got all sci-fi on him. But that's what I picture Iron Man as. Red and yellow. Yellow and red. I don't know. This book sold for $33,600 in January of 2023. The Pacific Coast copy sold for $13,145 in July 26, 2012, and that's Doug's book, of course. I know the date of Doug's auction. Tales of Suspense 48, Don Maggie Thompson copy, sold for $14,472.65, November 21, 2013. Amazing Spider-Man 101, CGC 9.8. In 2022, a copy of this book sold for $26,000. The last copy of this book sold for $9,000. Then again, in October of 2024, the CGC 9.8 Don Maggie Thompson collection copy of this book sold for $31,000. So, do you know what this one's going to sell for? I don't. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. Iron Man #47, CGC 9.8 classic cover. Only 2 non-pedigree copies of this book are in GPA. The last one is from 2017. It sold for $26.55. The Susha News copy sold in 2012 for $1,900. Gil Kane, by the way, was really good at comic covers. But does it surprise you? It surprises me that this book hasn't sold more than 9.8, right? This is 1972. There's only 9 9/8s of this book. I don't know. You can't explain things sometimes, and sometimes you can, but you have to really think about it. And I'm like not an expert on 1970s Iron Man. Somebody is, though. Thor 165 CGC 9.8, highest graded 1 of 5. This book, I mean, I love Adam Warlock, super fan of the Marvel cosmic stuff. I should just do a whole video. I'm gonna, in like 8 months when I get through my backlog, gonna do a whole video on my favorite Marvel cosmic comics and characters. Yeah, gonna do it. I mean, so I still, these two auctions came up, and I'm still like trying to get to this new series where I do short. They're supposed to be short videos. They should be pretty quick to produce, but stuff keeps coming up. I'm trying to do this, video series on comics I love, and some of these are going to be in there. This one won't be, but definitely some other Adam Warlock appearances are going to be in there. So. But anyway, this book is just outrageous. And again, this is like that Amazing Spider-Man 39. Like, what is wrong with this book? Like, what is wrong with it? Why is that not a 9.9 or a 10? Like, it just will cut you. And I love the, they always offer like, oh, you could do the thematic holder, and I've never done it. And then like I look at this one and I go, it's a 9.8. It's an incredible Thor cover. With him, Adam Warlock, with his tan. And it's got that, like, Journey into Mystery 83 little inset on the label. I think it looks great. Okay, so again, I love the cosmic corner of the Marvel Universe. I love Captain Marvel. In this case, I feel like this book is a little bit undervalued. Marvel Superheroes number 12, CGC 9.8, Rocky Mountain Pedigree. But, I undervalued, sure, but I love Captain Marvel more than the average guy. So, hey. This is like a $10,000 book in 9.8. The highest price paid is around $14,000. Which is, Tomb and Dracula number 10, CGC 9.8. This is also kind of a $10,000 to $15,000 book these days. But it sold for as much as $48,000. So, Captain Marvel never got that kind of hype bump. Come on. Would have been awesome. Come on. Do it for the cosmic side of Marvel. I don't know. Whatever. Guardians of the Galaxy was huge, right? Like, shouldn't that, like, shine for Marvel? I don't know. Whatever. I'm a nerd for cosmic Marvel comics. I love Blade, so I can't complain. Avengers number 57, CGC 9.8. There are 16 of these in 9.8. The last one sold for $37,501 in 2023, and it's seen a slow and steady rise since the first copy sold, at least in GPA, in 2009. A really even, slow but even upward trajectory. This is, by the way, one of my favorite Silver Age Avengers issues. I love this cover. It's obviously an homage cover. And my favorite Avengers team, like, of all time, was the kind of, I didn't go to the beginning of the George Perez era, but like kind of in the 160 to 220s really I was really into Avengers during that time, and like the Byrne stuff was in the middle, but then Perez came back and it was just great. And Vision was a huge part of that team, so I love the character. He's like imprinted on my brain as an Avenger. That's why I love Captain America. It was like that era. Captain America was like handled by, Byrne twice, right? And George Perez, like in Avengers, and then in the actual Captain America series. So, and I was also reading at the time. Going back and reading like the Tales of Suspense, and yeah, Captain America imprinted on my brain. Vision imprinted on my brain. One last 9.8, since I mentioned it previously. Doctor Strange 169 CGC 9.8. Incredibly sharp copy. If you haven't really paid attention to this book, this is the one to look at, because it like has all of the details. It's perfectly centered. It's sharp. Great preservation, and yeah, it like shows off the kind of moody, atmospheric cover. So whether or not you're a fan of the mystic arts or not, this is a great cover for you to check out. And let's finish with a 9.9, an actual 9.9, not that crazy PGX thing I showed you earlier. Shockingly, by the way, there's only one 10-0 of this book. This is another one where the consignor is potentially set up. The book last made an appearance in GPA in 2009, selling for $12,800. It'll go for more than that, although this book is volatile. As an aside, right? So I said I'm surprised that there's only one 10-0 of this book. It's because there's boxes of them out there. So I was looking for the history of this book in GPA, and what I do is I look at the first six digits. So in this case, it's 015609. That isn't unique. The next digit is what makes it unique, but I can remember six digits, and it's usually enough. In this case, it wasn't. So around the same time as this book was submitted and got a 9.9, there was another submission with a very similar serial number up until the next digit, and it was a full submission of Wolverine number one, like 20 Wolverine number ones, 199 and like 18 9/8 and like 2 9/6s, and then the rest they padded it out with Wolverine number twos. So I'm sure that kind of submission happens all the time with this book because there are definitely boxes out there. So why aren't there more 9.9s? I don't know. I haven't looked into it. I mean, sometimes like a Mega Man number 3 is like just the quality of production on that book is terrible. Flaky spines. I've owned a bunch of copies of this book. I don't know why there are no 10s. But it was interesting to see like actual evidence of somebody who had like 50 of them sending in an entire submission just with one book. They got a 9.9 out of it, so bravo for them. And with that, I'm exhausted and I'm done. It really was. This auction was exhausting. It went on way longer than I thought when I started this preview. So many 9.8s, and I left maybe 5 or 10 more that I could have talked about on the cutting room floor because it would have been an hour. Yeah. So I'll be back this week. I don't know how with a Comic Connect video because that auction started Monday as I record this. And I'm going to have the second episode of my new podcast, Edgar Church's Basement. Will be out this week as well. So I'm going to be a busy boy. Hopefully you check it all out. If you've made it this far, thank you. I appreciate you guys so much. Please like and subscribe. Share with your friends. Let me know what you're looking at in this auction. I always love to hear about it. Let me know if you're one of the consigners that's going to be doing well so I can give you a virtual high five. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one.